I'm hot. I'm big. I'm fucking tired. My name is Lubo, and I believe in good movies. And good movies deserve good reviews. What happens when three muscle-bound idiots try to find a shortcut to success?
Michael Bay takes us into this wacky, sort of fun-filled adventure
Called
Pain and Gain.
Just like that. Who better to direct this true story than the man himself, Michael Bay?
I'd just like to throw this in there that for a while I wasn't a huge Michael Bay fan.
I was.
Well, he was, but I wasn't. It was mostly due to the fact that I assumed he just did the same thing. It was he took a screenplay, added lots of explosions, and you have a movie. And I didn't really gain any respect until he fired Megan Fox from Transformers 3.
We need to get Transformers 3 into production. I don't understand what the big holdup is. Hang on a second. Michael Bay's coming over here. Come on. Mike, what can I help you with? I have a studio right online. What's up?
Okay, just tell him everything's good. I've already found a replacement for Megan Fox. Okay,
we have a replacement. I'm actually really happy about this. Okay, who's the replacement?
I got her right here. She is. She's very talented. She's from New Jersey. Just amazing. Just see, look at that.
I love it.
Mad respect.
Mark Wahlberg is one of my guilty pleasures as an actor. While he's not really an Oscar caliber actor quite yet, he's actually pretty good about just about everything that he does. In this movie he plays Daniel Lugo, a weightlifter, bodybuilder that basically is just sick and tired of not having what he thinks he's owed. So what does he do? He goes out of his way, misinterprets a bunch of motivational speeches into what turns out to be probably one of the funniest movies I've seen in a while. He also goes through a transformation, and then you can really see some kind of evil stuff to come out of him. So basically, I was entertained.
One of the first things that Daniel Lugo decides to do is to get together a team of people who can help him out. So one of the first people that he recruits is Anthony Mackey, who plays basically his protege. He loves bodybuilding, wants to get super swole, and is pretty much willing to do anything to get the American dream. The second person that Daniel Lugo recruits is Paul, The Rock. Paul is an ex-con who has seen the error of his ways and is now following the path of Jesus, which makes for a very interesting character when it comes down to them having to kidnap and torture one of the other guys.
The best part about it is that each one of the characters had their own reason for wanting to go through with kidnapping Victor Kershaw and taking all of his money.
One of the interesting aspects of this movie was they introduced a third-person narrative to make it seem like this was a documentary and the people that were all involved were there to discuss the events.
Speaking strictly from a cinematography standpoint of view, there was a lot of ass and titties, which from us gets a thumbs up. 3.
Jazz hands. You get jazz hands.
Alright. I was just like you. The average moviegoer. Did everything right. And what does Hollywood serve me? A shame sandwich. With the side order of shit. These are the cons. I'm gonna go ahead and start here. And I have to say that one of the things that just I found to be crap, just utter and unbelievable crap, was the entire story. I would have thought that this was just complete and utter dog shit. Somebody got really stoned, really high, and started writing this story.
One of the other things that I'm going to bitch about personally is that the first maybe 30 minutes of this movie seriously felt like a long trailer. The way it was cut apart, it didn't have any continuity to it. It didn't flow as well as I wanted it to. But the rest of it actually got a little bit better towards the middle and towards the end.
We always gripe about the pace of the movie. The problem with this movie is that it really didn't hold my attention. The entire time I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, well, I saw this part in the commercial, I saw it in the trailer. The movie didn't really contribute anything by showing you the entirety of it.
Yeah, one of the things that really helps a movie keep the audience's attention is that hot and cold, and unfortunately at one point it was like hot, 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 just a bunch of action scenes stacked next to each other, and that really at one point gets you exhausted mentally. You're sitting there like, what the fuck is happening? And then by the time you get to the scenes where they tell you some of the story, you're exhausted and you almost don't care enough to sit through and be like, all right, whatever. You stop paying attention. Even though that was a big con in my eyes, one of the things that did play off of it was towards the end of the movie, it actually stopped the film and they put in a little subtitle and said, this is still a true story, which reminded me, oh shit, I am watching a true story, and this is maybe why it doesn't make so much sense. And it kind of brought me back into the film.
One of the things that made absolutely no sense to me was Ed Harris's character. He played the character of a retired police officer who, coincidentally enough, had also retired from his detective business, and he managed to take on Victor Kershaw's case when nobody else would believe him. There's no reason. There's no reason whatsoever for that guy to have taken the case. Like, did you have any idea why he took the case?
Nope. And it didn't make sense to me that he was shooting people in the end. You're a retired cop. Why are you shooting at civilians?
And if somebody's shooting at you, you have the right to shoot back. Not if somebody's running away from you, you have the right to fucking shoot them. Like, it just makes no sense.
And, you know, it's unfortunate because I really like Ed Harris. I think he's an amazing actor. I just don't think you needed to put him in that movie, or you really needed to rethink his character.
Do you know why I'm in this pose?
No.
I'm actually contemplating what grade we should give to this movie.
Oh.
So what do you think?
God, this is a tough one. I'm kind of leaning towards giving it a 4. I came out of the movie and I felt like I had a good time.
I, on the other hand, am on the opposite side of the spectrum with this one. I just, for some odd reason, I want to give it a 2, but at the same time I think it's too low of a grade, and I maybe kind of want to lean towards a 3, because for the most part it did have a couple of moments that were very, very enjoyable. I absolutely love The Rock's character. I'm going to have to go with maybe like a 3, but we still love Michael Bay.
We still love Michael Bay. Fuck you, Megan Fox.
Do you know how I knew these guys were amateurs? Because I was still in front of the camera.
Lubo looks surprisingly confident in this review. I think he liked it. But he's got that glint in his eye that says, I'm gonna go back to hooking around the corner.
Well, thanks again for joining us. My name is Lubo, and this is my brother Roman from The Daily Struggle. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Waiting in Line. And next week, we're gonna go check out, what are we gonna check out, Roman?
Iron Man.
3. The third installment.
The third Iron Man.
After the first and the second.
And then came the third, which is what we're gonna watch.